Questions and comments. The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Health.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And the member's speech just shows how unserious the Conservative Party is about this. We've heard for 20 minutes the member smirking, talking about things like J.R. Ewing, Darcy Tucker, General Hospital, and quoting a comical German prison guard from the Second World War multiple times. That's how serious they are about this. I'm wondering if the member could actually spend a minute to talk about the Royal Canadian Mounted Police and their views on this, and that they have asked for Parliament not to proceed, as the member has said, as it may corrupt their own case in pursuing this, and if there is misconduct, it should come forward and the police should investigate it properly. And why is the member filibustering his own party's motion?
The Honourable Member for Miramichi Grand Lake.
Madam Speaker, the short answer to that is the taxpayers have a right to know. This isn't about the police. This is about the taxpayers. And that's about everyone that pays taxes. You see, that member is supporting his Prime Minister. That member is over there heckling me. And, Madam Speaker, I can't hear myself think right now. So,
stop it. Yeah.
You know, Madam Speaker, what I see today is a bunch of triggered MPs who've backed their leader. He's run their party into the ground. He's destroyed whatever they thought they had for a career, and they're over there keeping those same documents from being presented because somebody stole $400 million and they know who did it.
Questions and comments. Questions et commentaires. L'honorable député de...
The Honourable Member for Rimouski, Nejet, Témiscouata, Basque. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I heard my colleague's speech. I do agree with him that the Liberal Party is in trouble and it lacks transparency. We might remember the sponsorship scandal, and he talked about that. But what I don't understand, and here's my question, is we've been on this privilege question for 5 weeks, and everything in the House has been blocked. And the Conservatives have been repeating for years that they don't trust the government. The Liberal Party, that is. So I would like my colleague to explain to me, why have they gone 5 weeks without overturning the government? Because the opportunity to do so with a confidence vote. And they blocked their own opposition day. So why didn't they use that to call a confidence vote? Why are they blocking the works of this House for 5 weeks?
Member from Miramichi Grand Lake.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I want to thank the member for the question. I also want to make reference to the individual that was heckling me last time, the member from St. Catharines. He voted against sending Paul Bernardo back to maximum security. If I were him, I wouldn't show his face in the chamber. Now, that's just me.
I have a point of order from the Honourable Parliamentary Secretary. Specific point of order? Yes.
Madam Speaker, it is unconscionable that the member rises on his feet with a smile on his face to mention that name in this place. It is disgusting, Madam Speaker.
That is this debate. That the Honourable Member knows that is debate, and it is not... order! 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 That is debate. That the Honourable Member... Will the Honourable Member respect the Chair? It is not a point of order. It may be a point of privilege. The Honourable Member is free to rise on a point of privilege and in due time. Now I would like to give the Honourable Member from Miramichi Grand Lake the opportunity to answer.
I would agree, Madam Speaker. I have the privilege to rise in this House on this question, and I have the privilege to acknowledge how another member voted, and I believe that's despicable behaviour, that particular vote.
Oh, give me a break.
The Honourable Member for St. Catharines on the same point of order.
Standing Order 18 prohibits reflection on a member's vote. And again, Madam Speaker, it is disgusting what the members are trying to do in this place.
So the honourable member for St. Catharines raises a valid point of order that no member shall speak disrespectfully of the sovereign, nor of any of the royal family, nor of the Governor-General or the person administering the Government of Canada, nor use offensive words against either House or against any member thereof. No member may reflect upon any vote of the House except for the purpose of moving that such vote be rescinded. Just a reminder, so I would remind the honourable member that please apologise and retract those comments.
Mr. Apologize for what?
Standing Order 18.
The Governor General or anything that you mentioned, so I'm confused.
Read. The last sentence of the Standing Order, it's Standing Order 18. No member may reflect upon any vote of the House except for the purpose of moving that such a vote be rescinded. So I would ask the honourable member to apologise and retract.
So, okay, hold on. Just let me get this straight. So you want me to withdraw the fact that he kept Paul Bernardo and he didn't want him to go to maximum.
The honourable member will not be allowed to continue speaking if the honourable member does not want to apologise and retract what the honourable member said.
I withdraw and apologize for what he, but I don't apologize for what he did, though.
Questions et commentaires. The honourable member for New Westminster Burnaby.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I mean, we've seen systematic violations of the standing orders by Conservative members. Saw this last Thursday, of course, with the deplorable, absolutely deplorable spectacle of Conservative MPs showing up, some of whom had been drinking. It was absolutely disgusting, Madam Speaker. In this situation, Madam Speaker, in this situation, if he has refused to withdraw and apologize, he can't be recognized in this House. He did not do what you asked him to do, Madam Speaker.
The honourable member knows that he did apologise and retract. That's exactly what the honourable member for Miramichi Grand Lake did, which is why I'm continuing with the questions and comments.
Madam Speaker, I will agree with your ruling and your ability. Again, it seems like Conservatives have some Conservative members been in the sauce. Is that why they're acting this way tonight?
The honourable member will refrain from making such comments, please, because it does cause disruption in the House and is totally out of the scope of the debate we're having this evening. The honourable member for Kamloops, Thompson Caribou on a point of order. Which point?
On bringing disruption to the House. What he said was patently false. And not only that, he abuses the heckling standing order against women, men, children, anybody he can heckle, he does it inappropriate.
That is definitely not a point of order. I asked the honourable member for New Westminster Burnaby to ask a question of the honourable member for Miramichi Grand Lake, please.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I can categorically say I have never heckled a child in this House of Commons. Unless some Conservatives are self-identifying as children. My question is very simple. The member referenced memory, and yet we saw, I mean, the NDP has been fighting to get to the bottom of the STDC scandal. $400 million, I would agree with the member on that. That's a lot of money. Like we did with We Charity, like we did with the SNC-Lavalin scandal. But under the Conservative regime, the nightmare of the Harper government, we saw not just $400 million with the ETS scandal covered up by the Harper regime, but $1 billion in the G8 scandal covered up by the Harper regime, $2.2 billion in the Phoenix Pay scandal covered up by the Harper regime. So if Conservatives really care about memory, will the member apologize for the appalling scandals of the Harper regime, all of them, every single one covered up by Conservatives refusing to allow committees to get to the bottom, to do their work, and for Canadians to know the honest truth behind these many, many myriad Conservative spending scandals?
The honourable member for Miramichi Grand Lake.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I think clearly there are a lot of triggered people in the House here this week. I mean, I saw NDP members swarming one of my colleagues' desks the other night as I left here, making people very uncomfortable, very aggressive. And the truth is, you know, Madam Speaker, I feel bad that I mentioned the way somebody voted. I didn't know that was a big deal. So I can gladly apologize for something like that, of course. But my point here is the NDP are so triggered because they're basically propping up the most inept, scandalous government in the history of this country. They are the reason there's no election. They are the reason the hurt continues for Canadians. It's always them propping him up. And I'm going to tell you what, Madam Speaker, these members over here, you wouldn't believe the things they call us members over here. I wouldn't even repeat those words. But you know what? I got big shoulders. I got big shoulders. We got big shoulders over here because you know why, Madam Speaker? We're making decisions that matter for Canadians, and they're over crying and whining in the corner like a bunch of little babies. That's what's going on.